Hi, Lorraine here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up the blog feature of System EIO and create unlimited blog posts. So it's a video series, and this is part 1 of the video series. We're going to look at creating a blog with unlimited blog posts using the templates on System EIO. So let's get to it. Okay, so when you create your System EIO account, select blogs, and when you just created the account and have no blog set up, you will see this. Oops, it looks like the list is empty. Sometimes in System EIO, the use of blog and websites are used interchangeably. Okay, so essentially you are creating a platform where you can create unlimited blog posts on, or a platform where you can have web pages including a blog. So let's get to it. And so when you get a blog, you select create a blog. When you select create a blog, the name of the blog, so let's call it Jados Academy, for example. This is the blog domain. I haven't set up a custom domain, so it will have the name you use to register System EIO.system.io. This is the URL path. And what I talk about when I talked about templates, these are the templates on System EIO. So when you are creating a new blog, it will offer you the different templates. You can preview the templates. So this is how a template looks like with a different blog post on there, and you can preview the different templates set up on System EIO. You will notice that it doesn't give you an option to create or to use a blank template. So when you're just creating a blog, you have to use initially one of the templates. In fact, in this video series, I'm going to use one of the templates, and I think in the next video series we would look at how you can create a blog with different blog posts if you don't want to use the template. So let's select a template. So let's select this one, for example. Select the template and click on create, or select create. So System is doing its magic. It's selected created the blog. Okay, and let's just have a look at what the different icons are. So this view blog is if you want to view what the blog looks like. It's just really a display of the template because we haven't done anything. Okay, so that's that one. Now this is the blog settings. If you select that icon, the blog settings, okay, where you can change the name. If you have more than one domain set up on System, you can in this field here, you can select which domain is for, the URL path, and you can select the language, and these are the different languages that are available. You can also duplicate the blog. You can share the blog. That's the power of this. You can share the blog, or you can delete the blog. So let's go in. So I've essentially created a blog platform. Like I said earlier, it could use interchangeably like a website. Okay, so let's go in. So by default, when you create a new blog, System would automatically create 3 placeholder blog posts. It will create 4 pages, and it will create 3 categories. Okay, let's have a look at the CTAs first, and then we can delve into each of these post pages and categories. So first of all, blog settings takes you back to this pop-up where you can change the name of the blog domain. So if you had multiple domains set up on System, you can select which domain that particular blog applies to, and then also you can set the language as well. Now you can view the blog. It opens the blog in another window where you can view the blog. In our case, we just selected the templates. We haven't made any changes, so essentially it's looking at the blog or looking at the website. Okay, and then blog layouts, very important. And blog layout indicates the layout of the blog, the layout of the website. So in other words, each of the pages would have this layout if you've indicated that it should use the blog layout. So for example, each of the pages will have the header, will have a blog content, and will have the footer. Okay, so let's say, for example, for this menu, I add another menu item and I add tests, for example, and I say if you select test, let it link to one of the posts. Okay, and let's say we move it up here so that it is on the third menu item, and I save it. All right, now if I check any of the pages of that blog, any of the pages of that website which I have indicated to use the blog layout, if we have a look at it, you will see that test is one of the menu items. So essentially your blog layout is the layout of the blog, the layout of the website. Any page within the blog or website that you indicate to use the blog layout, will use the blog layout specified here. So it's really a time saver because you can set up a blog layout and then by default each of the pages will use that particular layout. Okay, so that's the blog layout. So now let's explore pages within the blog. Okay, now I mentioned that by default system creates 4 pages when you create a new blog. The home page is really the landing page. Yeah, it creates an about, it creates contact, and it creates a blog list page. The blog list page, if we have a look at it, let's have a look. The blog list page is essentially a page that lists out blog posts that are currently within that blog. Okay, now only the about and contact pages can be deleted. Right. The home page, that's the landing page, and the post list page cannot be deleted. I just thought it was worth calling that out. So you can add many, that's the beauty about system, and all this, even on the free account, you can add many blog pages. Even on the free system IO account. The link is in the description, by the way, if you are wanting to create an account within system IO. So if I create a blog page, let's say I call it a test page, and it's going to have tests, create, it automatically indicates you should use the blog layout. Yeah, and then if you have a look at view the page, it has the header, there's nothing in because I've not added anything, and you have the footer. Let's add something, so let's add something. So I select edit. Okay, so we have by default the header. Remember, in our blog layout we have the footer, and then it's a real drag and drop. So let's say I want to add an image. Go down here and I add an image, a drag and drop, add an image, select it, select an image file. Let's see, I have an image there. So if I select an image, for example, and I hit on save, again, this is just a test. Yeah, exit. Once I view my test page, there we go. So it has the layout of the blog. Okay, so that's that. Now I said let's look through each of the icons within a page. This is to view the page, opens a new window. This is to make changes to the page settings. So in this case, changing the blog name. So if you want to call that the landing page instead of home page, that's fine. Okay, that changes the title. All right, this is to edit that page. So if we click on edit, you're able to edit the page. Okay, and the last icon, second to the last, is this indicates we don't want to use the blog layout for the landing page. In the next video series, we're going to have a look at creating pages within System EIO without using the blog layout. It gives us more flexibility for what we want our websites to look like. So we're going to use that a lot in the next video series, so watch out for it. Okay, and this is to duplicate the page. Okay, and like I said, for the about and contact, you get an extra option where you can delete the page. So for this new one we created, we can delete it. Sure you want to remove the blog page? Confirm. All right. So let's create some blog posts within this blog. The first thing to think about is the category. What's the category of your blog? In our case, we have category 1, 2, and 3. We can rename this category. Like I said, these are the categories that system creates by default. Okay, so to rename it, just select the rename category icon. I say we want to, this is about email marketing, for example, email marketing posts. There we go. Description. So posts about email marketing. Okay. And then the SEO title and SEO description. And SEO title is the page title that Google and most other search engines will show in the search results. If you don't fill in the SEO title and description, it will use the name and the description we put on here. If I think in one of the videos in this blog series, I'm going to talk about how to make your blog and blog post SEO friendly. And we're going to use these fields definitely. Okay. So for now, we'll leave them as blank. So let's save that. And you can see that that category has been renamed. To create a new category altogether, click on or select create and then create a new one. So let's say we want to create one on digital marketing, for example. Okay, the same thing, give it a description. So post on digital marketing. This is where you use your keywords. Again, I'll cover that in the SEO video on blogs. Okay, so create. And so we've got that. We've got your digital marketing and email marketing as your categories. So after creating your categories, you create your post. And the powerful thing, a wonderful thing about System EIO, even on the free account, you can create unlimited blog posts. That's awesome, isn't it? So let's look at the blog posts. Let's have a look at these CTAs here. The first things first is filter. Because you can create unlimited blog posts, you may want to filter on only the active blog post or show only the active blog post. You may want to do a search on particular blog posts with particular titles. If you select that and select filter, it only filters and shows you the blog that has lorem as the title, for example. Okay, let's do that. Select filter and then it should show you everything. Okay, now similar to blog layout, post layout is the layout of the posts, the layout of the blog post, so that every post, go back out, every post created will use the post layout. Okay, every post created uses the post layout. Every blog post created will use the post layout. And what is the post layout in our case? It has the header. It has, I think this is an image, the post title, the post date, the content, Facebook comments, and the footer. So every post you create, let's have a look at this post, for example. Get it out here. Okay. It has the header. It has an image, the title, the date, the content, and it has the Facebook comments, and it has the footer. So that is what post layout is. You set up your post layout so that every post created within the blog or within the website will have this layout. All right. So let's have a look at these icons within a blog post. So this one is essentially to view the blog posts, how the blog post will look. You've just seen that. Okay. The second one is settings of the particular blog post. There's the title, the short description. So if we give it a better title, digital marketing in today's world, for example, this is where you have to look at your keywords, what appropriate title to give to your blog post. A short description, let's give it the same description. This is just for test purposes. What the URL path would look like. So you said, let's do it this way. in today. Okay, the image, when it is displayed on the blog list page, how it will look like, and then the different what categories it belongs to. In our case, let it belong to digital marketing, and we can hit save. Okay, beautiful. So the blog post has been updated. To create a blog post, so we're creating a new blog post altogether, and we can name it is email marketing dead. Let's give it the same description. Okay, it automatically creates the URL part for us. That's good. And let's choose a file for our image. Just choose a random file. Let's give it a category. So create. Beautiful. When we just create a new blog post, it is not active. We literally have to set it as published before it is displayed in our blog list page. So let me show you what I mean. So if I view the blog in a blog list page, at the moment the blog we've created is not here because the blog is not active yet. Let's make some changes to it. So if I edit, so at the moment it is using the blog layout. Remember, the header, there's an image, which is the blog post image, the title, the day, and then this is where we put our first element. And if I put text on here, let's put some test text. So this is a test. This is a test. Okay, let's copy that loads of times. We have, there we go. Now, the beauty about System EIO blog post is, and the powerful thing about post really is, you can create links within this. Yeah, so backlinks, you can add backlinks. You can have images. I put an image there, and let's say I select that. I select an image file. I just put an Instagram post, for example. And yeah, so you can continue building that, keep on building the blog. Yeah, so if I want to continue that, there we go. I can keep on building the blog with all the different elements on system. All right. So once I finish, I save. Okay, and then I exit. So if we have a look at how the blog post to be, this is how the blog post to be, what we've just created. If I'm happy with that, I can go ahead and publish it. So confirm. Okay, now if I refresh the blog list page, or the blog list page, I will see that my blog here. Click on it, and then that's the blog post I've just created. Okay, so in this video I've shown you how to create a new blog or website within System EIO using the templates. Yeah, I've also shown you how to create a new blog post, create new blog pages, and also create new blog categories. So in the next video, I'll be showing us how to create a blog with different pages with blog posts within them, but without using the template. So something very similar to this, where we can define our hero section, embed our blog posts, and then have different sections of the page. So I'll be showing us that in our next video. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you for watching. Bye.